Colby. Took the 4th of July holiday off after having the bear and Mr. Kroger on. It was a little too hot and colorful in here, so we had to let that stuff just escape a little bit. First of all, hope you all had a lovely 4th of July holiday. And, of course, we got to do our daily plug, which is special thanks to Mr. Bruce Hoyer from Next Edge Academy. Find more in the gym. Find a community. Come on down here, and you guys will you can check it out. They have an excellent boxing program, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and more importantly, there's just a great support system down here. So you get your first week for free. Check them out on Facebook, www.nextedgeacademy.com, or you can check out some cool stuff from Instagram. But there's always something fun going on here. It's a cool facility, actually. Definitely check it out. So with that being said, we have kind of a big show today. Pretty exciting. You guys hear me talking about it a lot. The mighty Germanator has joined us today.
Hello.
And Regina, or Regina. Depending on where you're from, who wants to say it. She's definitely been called a few other things, but this was actually her really good idea. A lot of people have asked me about my weight loss and my journey and my surgery and whatnot, and I haven't been too open about it. I've been opening up a little bit more and more and more. I'm about 100 pounds down now, so now I know, like, hey, I've done a pretty decent job. I can talk about it. It's come with a lot of hard work. I always talk about getting rid of the stigma of mental health. I think there's a stigma around the surgery as well, and I just kind of want to talk about my story a little bit and get my wife's perspective. Put your phone on the floor, woman.
What if daycare calls?
All right.
One of us has to be available.
Mm-hmm. So, that's why we have a daycare, so they can take care of things when we're not around. Anyway, this is what you're going to get, folks. Yeah. Anyway, we're going. I just want to have her side of the perspective, and she wasn't super supportive initially when we did I was thinking about doing the procedure. I was kind of at my wit's end, and she was very reluctant. Still is in a way, but she also can see how things have kind of worked out for me. So with that being said, Regina, give the official hello.
Hello.
That's her.
That's me.
Why I show up every single day to life.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. She's nervous. She can see herself on the camera.
I am a little nervous.
That's all right. That's why you got me to act like an idiot for you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to have you on, though. So we'll just dive right into this. What was your initial thought when I started thinking about having the procedure and was starting to open up to you about it?
Well, when I think it was kind of, I started working out like a year before you were thinking about it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So when you first brought it up, it was like, I can get my ass out of bed at 4:30 a.m. to work out. Why can't you? But, there were other issues, obviously, that made it a little harder. And you were, I don't know, you've been struggling with that for, I don't know how many years. And
probably since I was about 12, 13, I think.
Yeah,
I started
so
putting on the weight
obviously,
and started getting more.
Yeah, so obviously it is not as easy, but it was first like, why, you don't need that. And we knew a lot of people that did it. I think now I'm up to 10 or 12 people that I know that had that surgery, and 70% of those people are not successful.
Mm-hmm.
After either they put it all back on, or they don't stick with the program, or they just use it as they did it, and then after a few months they just kept living the same life. And I didn't want you to fall into that, because
Right.
there were other things that you've tried and were not successful at it. So for me it was like, well, why would that be the one that would help you? And for the first time ever, I have to say I was wrong, because obviously you are doing what you're supposed to do here. But so it was kind of like
the journey isn't over yet.
Well,
but I can assure you, I plan on never going back.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, there would be other consequences, but it was just a get your ass out of bed as well, start working out, and there were always other excuses for you, and it was like, no, I really don't want to do that. And so I never went to any Z appointments with you to know. I didn't go to any pre-op appointments.
No, you told me to do it on my own. If I want to do
Exactly.
it, I can figure it out.
Exactly. I wanted you to be responsible for it.
Which
I
is
didn't-
typically a huge red flag for their kind of program, because they said, oh, you need a support. You need somebody to support you. And I was pretty secretive, pretty much with most everybody I knew. I think Bruce may be one of the first people I told outside of
family.
you. Yeah.
Family friends, yeah.
'Cause he and I, we went to Yim's. Yeah, we went to. I didn't even tell any of my coworkers, and they would be the ones that would notice more than anything. But yeah, Bruce and I talked about it, and then I talked about it with maybe Ryan, and that was about it. And I went through the program for about a year, and did my thing. I had to lose some weight on my own, and I've lost 30, 40 pounds on my own. I got down to about 220 when I was doing my thing on the railroad, but I put it all back on, and that part of that was probably because my mental health was getting in the way. I had a lot of bad habits, and I wasn't taking care of myself. So then I think it just became a issue where I'm like, okay, I need to do this. And it was like one February, it was right around the Super Bowl or something like that, and I hit 290 on the scale, and I was so irritated with myself. And that was part of it too, is I hated myself. So I got to the point where I'm like, okay, I kind of knew I needed to get my mental health in order. And even you can admit that I am probably a much more positive person now, and kind of
and that's what I mean.
handle my stuff better.
I'm glad that you're at where you're at right now. It just sucks that you had to take that step. I mean, it wouldn't have gone as fast, and you probably would still be, I don't know, maybe 50 or 60 pounds down right now. But that is where I'm so proud of you, that you stuck with it. Like, one of the things that got me so upset was, like, all of your support groups that you're going to, and that you got the advice from one of those groups or from whoever. Just lie at your mental health appointment. Just say this and this, and then they will just say, yes, he's good to go.
To expedite it.
Yeah, and I was just like, why would you give someone that advice? That is so... You want that person to be successful, and you want it to do the right way.
Right.
So there were always, when you told me stuff from your support groups, from your online group or whatever, there were always people looking for, like...
Permission and ways around it.
Yeah, and like
So
making
to
excuses
not do good
already,
things, yeah.
and like, how long after the surgery can I start eating fast food, or how long after the surgery can I start drinking? I'm like, no, that is not how it's supposed to
That's
be.
not how you
And
did it.
like, you need to do it the right way. So that just made, and then I remember that because you got the surgery the weekend after Thanksgiving, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent Thanksgiving with our friends, Tracy and Aaron. And Tracy is like the master baker. She makes the best desserts. And so I was looking forward, they came to our house, and I was looking forward
Aaron's
to...
a pretty good cook himself. He knows his way around.
I'm talking about desserts here. I don't care about the real
Desserts are
food.
delicious.
Yeah. So, I...
Bruce has an apron. He will fight that. I would agree.
Well,
Bruce
then
makes a hell of a good pie.
You and Tracy will have to have a bake-off. I mean, she is... So I was really looking forward to her dessert, and then she came, and it's like, what the heck? Where's the dessert? And she said, well, I didn't know if Cole can eat any. And I was like, what? Well, now I have to suffer for that. So it was kind of...
And that was one of my big things, too, is that I always said...
It was more of a joke, but still,
Yeah,
like,
but
I was really looking forward to Tracy's dessert.
And that's something that I always tell people, that don't plan around me. I'll make it work myself. And it is really simple when you come down to it. I mean, it's fibers, good carbs, lean proteins, and just having a healthy relationship with food. But part of that was I've got a lot of good people that I can talk to and know about it. And it helps that you're really into fitness now as well. Like, you can easily say that you're much, much better shape than you have been in the past. And she regularly exercises, gets up every morning at 4:30, out the door. Sometimes when she gets done at her cardio kickboxing, she goes running for an hour or half an hour. And then sometimes she'll go back to the gym during the day around noon, and then other times around the afternoon.
A lot of showering.
Yeah, it is.
It sucks.
But that's okay. But having you around to do that with...
But the only reason I'm doing that is because
fun.
I like to eat. Otherwise, I just like...
You like the way it feels, though, and totally cleanses you, but...
Well, yeah.
That was part of my thing, is that I came to Next Edge quite a bit, did my thing, and my cardio was pretty good, but I just couldn't get rid of the weight, and it would come off, and I would put it right back on. And it was because I had a real hard time trying to trim that weight off and control myself, and then it would just become a thing where I'd eat really clean, but I would just go crash dieting, and I would eat clean, and then I would screw up, go somewhere, you know.
It didn't help that I was pregnant twice during that time as well, and you put on a lot of pregnancy weight with me. And
yeah, but that's still on me. Because
well, yeah, but still,
I
had those Taco Bell cravings and ice cream cravings at 11 a.m. You drove in a snowstorm to get me Taco Bell, so obviously if you get yourself some as well. So
yeah,
that
ladies,
didn't help.
That's what a man does.
Only if he has a strong woman that tells him to get me some food.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Something I'm afraid of.
Yeah, you like it.
Well, I mean, and that's what kind of pushed me too, though, throughout that, is that I knew I could do it, but I knew I had to do it the right way, and I knew I needed to get my mental health in order, and I needed to look at it as wellness as a whole, opposed to just taking it and being like, oh, I'm going to get part of my stomach cut out, and then I'm just going to move on and call it a day. And, you know, once that happened, and I started working with my program, Mary Martin Kobos asked a question online about what she...
I don't think her name is Kobos anymore.
Oh, it's not. It's Wadsworth. She knows. Lord Wadsworth. It's an inside joke. That's what we started calling her husband when they started dating.
Okay.
Anyway, she'll die peeing in her chair. But anyway, she asked... what was the question? Basically,
she was basically asking why bariatric did you try like the Sanford profile and what other steps to even get to that surgery.
Right.
And yes, he did not try the profile, but he did go to one of the meetings.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that did the profile, and they did good for the time they did it, and then when they quit.
She said, here's her question. Why bariatric surgery? Did you try the infamous profile diet or anything first? What's the process like to get to the point of surgery, pre-op testing, etc.? Which are all really great questions. The bariatric surgery came about, like, I was nervous about it. I was trying to talk myself out of it, but I kept going, pros and cons, different things I wanted to do. And the thing about our insurance was, as soon as I started working with it, there was no turning back. They said you could back out of it anytime you want, but know that this is your one shot, one chance. And basically, you got to follow the 12 rules of the road and do everything you need to. You go for your initial consult. The surgeon says yes or no, and it's a rigorous thing. It's just not like going in there and being like, I have a check. I want to do this. Thanks for coming. And then that's that. Even by their standards, they still want you to go to the dietary classes, the sessions. They tell you what you expect, support groups. You got to get your labs done. I ended up getting a GI scope, and you needed the mental health assessment as well. And that was the one I was actually looking forward to the most, and it was really hard at first.
You were looking for, yeah, you were really looking forward for that.
I was looking forward to it because I knew it was something I needed to do, and we never talked about it that much. And like I always told you, like I just had like dark, deep thoughts, and you were like, "Yeah, everybody gets sad every once in a while." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. Like, I have really bad thoughts pop into my head." And probably one of the only things that really saved me at those times was, you know, what kind of legacy do I want to leave behind for my wife and kids? Why would I want to? Because I did believe, and I listened on a podcast the other day where this girl paid off her student loans, and she said the only way she did it is because her dad said that she'd be better off without him. So he killed himself, and he got the life insurance money to her, and she paid off her bills and lived a good life. And he said that that's how it'd be. And I related to that, and I seriously almost started crying at work because I was listening to it, because I was like, that is a familiar story. I do not want to hear that. But I didn't want to leave that behind and the guilt on everybody. So that's probably what really kept me pushing through that. And, you know, it wasn't the thing that's like, oh, we'll start thinking happier thoughts, just like everybody's like, just put the fork down, start eating better food. I needed to look at his wellness as a whole. I had to take care of this, not take care of that. And then I knew I had to take care of my stressors, so start taking care of our finances and all sorts of stuff. You know, start acting like a grown-up, basically. I have good days and bad days. There's stuff that's still happening. But once I finally was able to get those things kind of in order, and I went to therapy saw a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and they were very professional about it because I
And you're
worked
still
closely
doing
with
that.
those, and I'm still going to it.
Even though you don't need to.
And the surgeon's like, all right, cool, we'll set your date for this. You should be good to go. And that was 6 months after I started the initial program. He's like, you'll be good to go. You got your psych consult. I'm not too worried about it because I carry myself well when I'm in the public. And don't roll your eyes like that. I saw that look. And I said, all right. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see. And I went there. I was 100% honest, and I took care of what I had to do. And I didn't realize how depressed I was, how anxious I was, and how much I hated myself until after I started kind of seeing more clearly. I'm like, oh, this is what feeling normal is like. This is what feeling happy and not carrying that weight on myself anymore. Because,
Literally.
yeah, literally. But it was kind of my chance to, it was like my physical bankruptcy. Like, I'd stretched my stomach, I had the bad habits, I had just destroyed my metabolic rate so much that it was really tough, and like the weight wasn't coming off no matter how hard I did or if I'd starve myself, and my body was confused. And I finally started following these diets. It was coming off slowly. It was really kind of tough, but Bruce, would you mind looking up gastric sleeve and like bringing up a photo of like what the procedure looks like? Because there's different ones. There's the R and Y where they basically reroute your guts and attach your small intestine, but they leave the other part of your stomach, and your stomach's about the size of an egg. I did not get that one because it's older. It's been around for a long time. It really helps people with diabetes, but obviously eat a lot less. You end up with a lot more mud butt and what have you. And when you end up moving your intestines and a few things like that, that starts to scare me quite a bit. Worked in the ICU, done a few things, and seeing people with their, I don't know, I didn't want a leaky gut. And once we got to that point, I ended up deciding on the sleeve, because that one gives you the most weight loss. But I'm like, I'm still a healthy guy. I want to live a pretty normal life. I want to still eat pretty normal foods. I want my kids to see as much as possible. Like, I just want to be normal for them. And like, if we want to go out for ice cream, I want to go out for ice cream. So there's the two different procedures that Bruce pulled up for us. Thank you, Bruce. And the vertical gastric sleeve is the one that I got. So basically, they cauterize your stomach and staple it in multiple ways. They leak test it, and they remove that entire pouch of your stomach. My stomach was about the size of a banana or so. 6 ounces or so is all I could have initially. And now I'm starting to get to what normal servings should be. It didn't make me feel nearly as hungry. Still got to be careful with certain things. Like, I don't drink carbonation anymore just because it really upsets my stomach.
Which was one of your issues.
Yeah, I drink a lot of soda. And I didn't drink much beer just because I'm not a man like that. I just don't like beer that much. Yeah, appletinis for me. So that's still cool. I can still do that. Now I just blame it on my procedure. But they also, once you remove that portion of your stomach, they say it helps take away kind of the hunger hormone a little bit, which it did, but I still get hungry every now and then. But probably the worst thing I have to deal with right now is just the weird stomach gas noises. And like when I'm trying to go to sleep at night, you sit there and hear them all the time.
Annoying.
And I'll get out of the bed. And so
annoying.
But once I did that and I was able to start getting the weight off, I walked a lot for probably my first.
I got you the Fitbit for your birthday in September, and that helped a lot already.
Yeah, I was reluctant about that.
That helped, and then in November you got the surgery, and from there on out, you started working out every morning. All of a sudden, it wasn't an issue anymore. And I'm not sure if you would.
Part of that was my energy levels were different. So once I started getting rid of some of that weight, and I got rid of I had to get away from you. That was good. But I just changed my thought process about it. And then also, it was such an extreme thing that I did. I knew that I needed to I had to change. I needed to commit to myself. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. And part of that is I don't know, I'm kind of a glutton for punishment for certain things. And, you know, I went through the pain. I didn't take very many of the pain pills, but I'm like, if I'm going through this, I'm going to get up and go. And I would get up and I'd walk. And I never thought I'd be a mall walker, but they're like, don't walk too much because you're going to run out of energy. Your body's changing, so on and so forth. I didn't listen. I went out and I just went for it. And
the good thing is you
I
had
walked,
your mom
walked.
that too. You walked together with your mom, and it's always easier to do that with a different person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get the same workout by myself as if I would go to a class.
I went by myself every once in a while to go walking, but I made it a challenge because I knew they were calling and checking up on me every week. So that was the other thing. I had people to hold me accountable. But I wasn't going to let you guys down either. And you said, it's pretty much not an ultimatum, but it was an ultimatum. You said, you know, you fail at this, like, that's it.
And it's not about the weight. It wasn't about you're going to be big again and we're done. It isn't about your body appearance. It was about failing something, and I didn't want to go through that again with your mental health status. I didn't want you to go back to that old chart and freaking out about stuff, and I didn't want to see the kids see this and all that. So it was just one more, like the tip of the iceberg, basically. And for me, that surgery, it's a privilege to get that.
Oh, it is.
Like, absolutely. If you have the
it's
health
a first
insurance
world,
and all that.
Yeah, it's a first world privilege.
If I want a boob job, I have to work for it. I have to go and get the money to pay for the boob job. So
how are you going to work for it?
Well, I know my ways. Anyways, like some homeless, overweight person down the street, he has no chance he can get the surgery. I mean, so for me, it was a privilege, and not everyone gets it who maybe wants it or needs it. So take your chance. Yeah. Don't ruin it. And, you know, like you always say, it's a tool. It's not, it's a complete lifestyle change.
Yeah, because you can definitely put the weight back on. And there is a phenomenon where, you know, people do put the weight back on.
Yeah, but then you hear all the excuses around it, and that's what I didn't want to deal with. I didn't want you to...
And I was definitely full of excuses before, absolutely. Yeah. So you had every right to be reluctant about it, but that was kind of those things where I'm like...
And I ended up coming. I sat in that waiting room for 6 hours and drove the kids around town, and I saw how hard it actually was. For me, it was just one of those, oh, that's the easy way out. What is he doing? But, you know, like I said, I wasn't a part of all of the appointments. But then I came around and was like, you know what, he is working hard, and it was a tool. It did help you, you know, because otherwise you wouldn't be at.
I see before and after pictures of myself, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, I didn't see myself that big when I initially saw myself.
For me.
And then when I saw the difference in my weight and how I was feeling, and now I can just do all sorts of fun. Now I enjoy exercise because I can do the things I wanted to do.
We can do this together now. Yeah, we never had anything like couples go hunting together, or they go and, I don't know, shooting together, or any kind of hobby. The only thing we like is going shopping together. Actually, no, I don't like shopping with you. Never mind, I take that back.
Why?
You're more of a girl than I am when it comes to that stuff. But anyways, I like that is our time now. Even we might not even talk, or like in Germany when we went up to those mountains and we ran those trails, we were both listening to our own music, but we were right next to each other. I thought that was one of the highlights of the trips.
Yeah, and we pushed each other.
Yeah, I love doing that.
I found out that I'm more torquey than you are, and you're more of a long-distance runner than I am. So that was kind of nice. Yeah. We figured out what we're both good at. I'm good at short distances, short times.
Because you're shorter, too. You have shorter legs and all that. That might be
What do you mean and all that?
Anyways, and I love that we do that with the kids now. You know, we take the kids to the gym, and like when there's a morning, when there's like a time where one of us cannot make it, let's say because I have an early meeting or you have to be at work early or whatever, and the kids see us coming out of the bedroom in our pajamas, I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, was the gym closed? Are you feeling okay? I love that. I didn't grow up like that.
Right.
Like, my parents were never, dad was an alcoholic and mom never worked out or anything, so I was never into fitness. Not that I'm into fitness now, I just like doing it, but so I love that the kids growing up like that. Or there was, Izzy has been, you know, playing soccer, and that one day she came, I think we were just hanging out, and she came like, Mom, can we go to the gym? Because I really need to get stronger for soccer. I'm like, that's amazing. 2-3 years ago, that would have never happened.
Liam busts out push-ups in the middle of a restaurant.
Yeah, he does that.
They like to do burpees and other things. Liam likes to kick and punch. He also wants to wrestle. It's a good thing I know some good grappling folks.
He won't like it. He doesn't like sweaty bodies.
Down here, Next Edge Academy.
Won't like it.
Oh, he'll love it.
Yeah, won't
like it. Yeah. It's different when you're both like engaged and you're both sweaty. Yeah, if you're sweaty and you just come up and touch, yeah, that's no fun.
That kid doesn't sweat.
Anyway.
But when you were talking about before and after pictures, that's what kind of did it for me, where I started. Like we went, because I was never really fit or never had the perfect. Like I was always plungy, I would say. Is that a word?
Plungy?
Is that a word?
No, that's something you do to a toilet.
Okay.
Pudgy.
Pudgy too, yeah.
Yeah.
Marshmallow-like, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't comb her hair, folks. She combs her hair.
Yeah. Anyways. We were on vacation with our family friends, and we were at a lake. And there was pictures taken. And then after the vacation, it was in June, we looked at the pictures, and I saw myself in the swimsuit, and I was like, oh my God, I wanted to apologize to everyone that was there, because it was 2 years after Liam was born, and I think during Liam's pregnancy, we kind of figured out already this will be the last pregnancy.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think I knew I never want to be pregnant again. So
we did.
We did? Okay. So...
I took myself to the vet.
You did. But I thought that was because Liam. Because we...
No, I liked
Liam,
Liam, but I knew that was it.
Okay. Anyways, I knew this will be my last pregnancy. This is my last shot of just letting myself go. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then, anyways, we did that family vacation, and I saw pictures of myself, and I was like, Jesus Christ, oh my God, that was horrible. And then in July, signed me up for that 10-week class, and ever since then, it's been like, I cannot imagine not getting up in the morning. Like, even if I don't go to the gym, if we can sleep in, or it's a Sunday or whatever, I still get up. We still get up early, and we do our own thing.
Right.
Maybe not at 4:30, but at 6 a.m. and then we go.
It's
And
a
if we have a babysitter,
day that 6 a.m. is sleeping in for us now.
It is, and we've lost friendships have suffered because of our early bedtime. We go to bed when the sun is still up. So there were times before when we drove out to a friend's house and hung out until 9 or 10, and now I'm like, there's no way I can do that, because by the time they get off work and we have dinner or something, it's like,
but that's probably,
right now I would actually get ready.
That's
for
one of
bed.
the other things, though, that I noticed that's different about my mindset that I've changed. And the one day the gym doors were locked at our townhouse, so I couldn't get in there to work out and do my thing. I was kind of pissed at first, but I'm like, you know what? I got a jump rope, kettlebell at home. So I just went outside and I just got after it for 30 minutes, half an hour.
2 years ago, you would have never done that.
2 years ago, I'd have been like, well, I guess I'm going to go home and sit on the couch. But it's kind of I don't know. It's one of my things I really, really love to do now, and I love being active. And
I'm looking forward to our whenever we have a family workout, I look for, not just because of the donuts, because we do get donuts for the kids to keep them happy and for us as a reward afterwards, but I do look forward to it, and I like the kids. Like, even though they are just on...
And that's probably one of my things that I've changed, too, is that I can still, if I want to, I can still go through 3 or 4 donuts. It just takes me longer. But now I know, 3
or 4 donuts. I can't even do 3 or 4 donuts.
I can assure you, if I needed to try to get them down, I would. But I know now, it's okay to have a piece of cake, but I only have 1 piece of cake. If I do a donut, I do part of a donut, or I get something smaller. Oh, Levon. Hey, Levon. Hey, Brianna. Hey, Brandy.
It's all my friends, none of yours.
Yeah, it's because they're all sick of me. It's okay.
You do talk a lot. God.
That's why I got a podcast, so Bruce can listen to me talk.
I don't he won't listening.
Yeah, he won't even face me. Anyway, talking about the Sanford profile, those things are okay, but they're just not sustainable. And that was probably one of the biggest. It's very expensive, which is fine, but it's just not sustainable. And I didn't want to, relapse my weight loss. I did Weight Watchers, and I lost a bunch of weight. I did lose weight on my own before. I didn't do it all that healthy. I got up every morning, I ran, I worked on the railroad, but I wouldn't eat during the day, and I was taking some thermogenics pills and stuff like that. And
I don't even know what that is.
It's not good for you.
Neither are donuts.
Yeah, that's true. But, I got down on that weight, and I moved forward. And, I slowly put it back on. And, over time, like I said, I crept up to 290 just like that. And, when I'd get into Next Edge, I would pound it out and go to Next Edge. And then I would lose some weight. But then I'd slowly put it back on. And it got hard for me because trying to do those things.
Children and schedules
well,
and all that,
not only that, but I would end up injuring myself because I was going too hard. I wasn't going at the pace I should have been going. But like I said, I'm kind of a glutton for punishment, and I'm like, I'm going to keep up with these people that are really good athletes, and they never pushed that on me. They were always supportive, but I was like bound and determined. I'm like, I'm a big guy, but I'm just going to push through it. But then I would get hurt and get way too sore, and then I would give up, and all of a sudden, a week off becomes 2 weeks off, and then next thing you know, I haven't seen Bruce in 4 months, and that stuff sucks, and I didn't like that. And then of course I'd get down on myself because I'm like, I put on the weight again.
We also live in almost Sioux City, so Bruce is up Del Rapids. We are Sioux City, kind of. That's what we say with Patrick, at least. Anyways, it's like it's a long stretch between the gym and our place, so it was the timing. Right now, it works for both of us in the morning. Like I come home, the kids are just waking up. You go while the kids are getting ready. I love that.
Yeah, and I've changed my routine.
We can still we still have family time in the evening. Like no one suffers from our work. Like no one is just sitting by themselves at home and has to take care of the kids by themselves.
I would agree with that.
So that's just perfect. Not that it's not good to come to your gym, Bruce. That's not what I'm saying. It's just the timing that works for us in the morning.
So, yeah, I don't know. I just look at fitness as just a way of my life now and a part of my life, and it's a lot of, I don't know, it's fun. I change things up. I changed my routine, so now I do a lot of...
we did a 5K in Germany.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
We didn't do a 5K. We ran a 5K. Regina ran her own path, and she didn't realize where the finish line was. Next thing I know, I'm running with the... half marathoners, and they're looking at me. They're like, "What is this fat shit doing running with us? Because he should not be here." Because it's obvious I cut line in the course because Regina ran her own path.
We ran a 5K.
And then because you told your mom the wrong place to meet us. But I couldn't understand the German man, so I just ran.
Well, it's only been 10 years, and you still can't speak German, so that's kind of your fault.
I can speak the German I need to.
Yeah. Anyway, we ran a 5K, and 2 years ago, I am actually, again, I've always said I don't want to run any of those races. I can do it by myself. I didn't want to prove it. I didn't want to prove it to anyone else, but I kind of thought in Germany that is good. And we did it because jet lag. Because we
got up and we went for it.
Yeah, 48 hours after we landed, so we thought that would be a good jet lag cure, which it was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, we didn't get our pictures at the finish line, but we got a good picture.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain we ran over 5K.
We did.
Because we were just around the corner from the finish line, but then we turned around and ran backwards with the 10K half marathon people.
You could have kept going.
I should have. Yeah, that's my second or third 5K that I've ran in, but
Second.
yeah, it's pretty fun. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where, like, even now I'm excited to try. It's like kind of putting a mod on your car or something like that to perform better. Like, I'm kind of excited to come back to the gym and see what kind of performance I can do. I'm sure the people at our townhouse think I'm an idiot because I'll sit there and do my own little drills in the mirror and like sit there and do some shadow boxing and some warm up stuff. But it's just kind of ingrained in me. But I really like being able to do those workouts I can, and it was a lifestyle change. Like I said, it was wellness as a whole. So. What?
I think everything else got better. Our relationship, the stuff that we're doing with the kids, like playing baseball or play soccer with the kids, or
my confidence level's up there now too.
Absolutely.
And not like in a jackass way, but like now I'm like, I don't.
It is kind of annoying how confident you are now picking out your clothes in the mornings.
What does that mean?
I can wear everything now. Look at that. I look good in this shirt. This shirt fits now. It takes you like 10 minutes to pick out what you want to wear. That's freaking annoying.
I do it for you.
I don't see you during the day, so I really don't give a shit.
But people who know you see me.
Yeah, that's the first thing they say. Oh, Cole is looking good today. I like the shirt on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got told I was dapper the other day.
By whom?
James told me I was looking pretty. Thanks, James.
Great.
Yeah. I don't know. It is weird because I'm not used to those compliments coming, but I do appreciate them, and it's kind of one of the dangerously low.
Oh, I forgot the donuts in my office again. Crap.
Yeah. Hey, Brooke Vermeer brought up a really good point.
Can you see it?
She does some training at a gym here in town, so you can check her out, Brooke Vermeer, personal trainer. But dangerously low calories with profile, which everybody I talk to, like one of my buddies who works in surgery, he came and he's like, yeah, I'm doing, and everybody always has the same thing. I'm like, so how's it going? It's okay. And I'm like, well, you know, how was profile treating? And that was about the time I was thinking about doing my
They'll get
surgery.
crabby when they
And
do
he's
that.
like, I really want to poop, dude. And I'm like, yeah, I see that. But it was just, I think it was just a lot of high protein. And like I said, it's just not sustainable and trying to figure out a way. And they say you can go to your coaches, but it is kind of a hook, line, and sinker type thing where they just keep you dragging along so you can keep using it. And, and to be honest with you, and that's the thing, you figure out, you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And, you know, your cardio kickboxing wouldn't work for me because it would drive me crazy. I went in there the one day and I was like, holy hell, this is weird. But
I love it.
Yeah, you love it. And that's so cool. I totally love that you love it. And you're active.
Weightlifting. You love weightlifting.
I love weightlifting.
See?
And I love coming in and doing jiu-jitsu, and I love coming in and getting punched in the face by my friends and doing stuff like that. But that doesn't work for you.
Yeah, why can't I not punch you in the face?
And sorry, my phone's blowing up like none other. Like,
Daycare?
no, it's my work. Told him I wasn't going to be back yet. Anyway, lost my train of thought.
I didn't even listen. I don't remember.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I really don't remember.
But the fact is, you just do what works for you. And when you do what works for you and do something that you enjoy that's sustainable. So, like, I didn't cut out all the sugar out of my life. I didn't cut out all the ice cream. I didn't cut out all the pizza. I didn't cut out the stuff that I love. You know, it's just, I have a healthy relationship with it. And it's like, you know what? Yeah, I didn't decide today I was going to have an ice cream cone, but, you know, I had an ice cream cone with somebody.
Who did you have an ice cream cone with?
I didn't have an ice cream. That was just to say that I was going to have one.
Okay.
I didn't have one today.
Okay.
But if you'd like one afterwards, I'll buy you an ice cream cone for being a good girl on air.
I can buy my own ice cream cone.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
I have to stop at the office now to get those donuts. Those are Centerville donuts. Like
those are delicious, yeah.
Those patent zebra ones, whatever.
Have you ever had those, Bruce? Oh, they are pretty bomb
They're already
diggity.
a day old, so.
But they are super duper. I'll have to bring you some.
I forgot them.
Anyway, it's yeah, you do what works for you. You can make a healthy relationship. Figure it out. Tracking really helped me out a lot. It's not always like sustainable, like to do it, but every once in a while, like especially if I feel myself slipping. Like I said, I don't eat clean every single day, and I hate that's an overused term anyway. I feel like, but
yeah, but you also don't go to Texas Roadhouse anymore and eat 8,000 buns.
Yeah.
Like
I pick and choose what I'm going to eat now, and I decide.
Going to Germany was tough.
That was because, man, there was a lot of good stuff. But I still lost some weight over there, which is good. But
it was a good reminder.
We stayed
for both
active.
Of us.
Yeah, my skin like got terrible eating all that sugar and stuff.
But like, it was hard. All of it. Like before, I can easily run 5 miles, and when we were there or came back, I could hardly catch my breath because we ate so much shit. And we. Did we drink a lot? I don't remember.
Not too bad.
We had a few drinks here and there.
Because that was one thing I did cut back on quite a bit, was drinking. I never was a heavy drinker, but...
I did drink with my sister there a few times, I guess, but... Yeah, before when we went, there was always beer. Like, everyone always had beer.
I can assure... Yeah, when I went to Germany the other times, I easily put on 10, 15 pounds just from all the beer that I was drinking.
I definitely did this
I did not.
All the candy and bakery stuff and all that. So, but it was a good reminder because when we came back and we realized how bad we just ate those 2 weeks and how much out of shape we are.
We just felt terrible, and like my skin got really, really bad because like I broke out. Like I felt like I was going through puberty again just because I like had gigantic pimples all over my forehead and face. But
the candy is so good though.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But we don't, you don't know when is the next time you get it. So we ate like there's no tomorrow. I did, at least. I ate a lot of candy.
I didn't.
So coming back was a good reminder. We just got right back into it and started, daily workouts again. And
Yeah, my health coach, she called me. She's like,
no,
you
don't
know,
do it. Don't do the
she
voice.
is a
Don't
nice
do the
lady,
voice.
but my God, she has the best intentions, and I'm confident she'll never listen to this podcast. But she is. Good morning, Cole. Name and date of birth. And then I hold the phone away from my head, and I think, Cole Bovey. And then, so, tell me, how was Germany? How did you do it over there? I'm like, I just
What
did
do
it
you
the
mean?
same way I did it over here. I worked out and tried to eat healthy, and did my, So, that's good, Cole. And then I'm like, okay, now I know the things just to say to get her off the line as quickly as possible. I'm like, okay, I did this. Okay, sounds like you're doing great. I'm proud of you. Yep. Okay, bye. So that's kind of sweet. Now to get her off the line. But like I said, she was also a really big help because she would not let me do things, and it was up to her whether or not I was going to get the procedure done, and she was going to give the thumbs up or thumb down. Like I said, her heart was in the right place. It's just a little much at times, but
And it isn't that I was completely against this procedure. If people really need it,
you were
and they
really
get
reluctant.
approved-
And I get it
Yes.
because everybody says, Cole, you're still pretty healthy. You're still working out. You know, you can change your ways and get your stuff taken care of. But for me, I needed
lots
that.
of other
There was
issues.
lots of other issues, and I needed to get my shit in order. And then I said, how come I need to wait until I am, I was considered morbidly obese anyway, but how come I had to wait until I got type 2 diabetes? How come I had to wait until my blood pressure was
Well, it's
dangerously
the
high
same
and
with
already
the
did some...
lung when you get a new lung. What is that called?
Transplant?
Transplant. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, you don't wait until your lungs quit.
Well, but you're like a friend of ours who they know she will have this disease that her mom
A1,
died of.
yeah.
Yeah. So instead of doing it now, she has to wait until her lung is basically, I don't know, down the drain until then.
Yeah.
So
For me, I wanted to get ahead of it, and I wanted to instill a healthy lifestyle for my kids as well. I wanted to make
And
sure
they're so
that they were
proud of
there,
you.
and to do that, yeah, like they're like, Dad, your belly's a lot smaller, and do these things. And I'm more confident now. Like I go to the gym and like I work really hard, and they see that, and they want to do stuff, and we'll do these exercises together, and I'm teaching them. They're interested in it, and Daddy, I don't want to eat that because there's too many calories. I'm like, no, it's okay if you eat that. You just can't have it every single
Izzy's
day.
already counting calories, and I don't like that.
She's making better choices, and that's what I tell her, to make healthier choices with food. And like, it's okay if you have a little of that. You just can't have it every single day, all day.
Yeah, but I never thought that my 7-year-old would say, "Mom, how many calories?"
She's not your
does a
typical
cereal
7-year-old,
have?"
though.
Yeah,
She's
that's
7 going on 30.
Yeah, she's more of an adult than we are.
Yeah, that's
for
very
sure.
true. But even Liam he's picking up on things like, Daddy, is that healthy? That's not healthy. And, I can only have a little of
But
this.
stuff that he wants, he is telling you this is healthy.
Yeah,
like Dad, I want this.
He's
but-
4, but he's thinking about
Yeah,
it.
but still.
And
If you can tell him, no, Liam, it really isn't healthy. Oh yeah, it is healthy. I know that.
so that's kind of one of my big things that I was trying to, I wanted to live that lifestyle with them, but I also wanted to make sure that my mental health was in order, because I was not a good guy to be around. I couldn't stand to be around myself, or if I would do things or my temper would blow, I knew that I had to, she's being well behaved. Let's see here.
I can't see that.
I can punch you in the face. No, that's my sister. She wants to punch me in the face.
Who doesn't?
I don't get mad, I get even. My goodness, I thought you were going the other way with that, knowing you guys. Hey, your sister is watching. I don't know what's happening now. Ashley, put the phone down. You need some time away from your children.
I'm very confused.
I don't know either. Anyway, it just kind of became one of those things where I wanted to lay that out for them and let them know that I wanted to be the best dad that I could for them, and be a good role model, and let them know that it's okay to handle their business, and to show them what normal relationships are like, and show them what confidence is like. I'm 33 years old, and for the first time in my life this summer, I've not worn a shirt at the pool. Like, probably since I was a little kid.
See, and I hate that I didn't start earlier. I wish I would have starting this lifestyle a lot earlier, not just 2 years ago. I wish I would
Right.
have started working out way before that on a daily basis. But again, I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah, it's a mindset.
So hopefully our
and
kids
it sucks to
pick
start
that
working
up.
out. It sucks to be a
Yeah.
beginner at something. It sucks to want to learn.
Wanted to give up a few days after because I just couldn't get the groove down and all that. But then,
Yeah.
but I really hope that our kids see that and continue to do it and will be active during school and all of those
Yeah,
things.
learn about the endurance and things such as that. Yeah, it's absolutely. What's up?
Quick question.
Yeah.
On the kid realm, there's a pretty recent study that was put out that said that they feel that part of the reason that kids hate exercise now in their like teens and 20s is because when you're in gym or when you were a kid, a lot of times that was performed as a punishment. So you know if you messed up, you had to do 20 push-ups or do 50 push-ups
Right.
or
We
do this.
did do that with Liam, like
Sure.
a few times. Like
But
if he
not
did
anymore,
something-
though.
Not anymore, but we did
Sure.
tell him do 5 push-ups.
Now we get down
But
and we
then-
do them with him.
Yeah, yeah, we actually do. Yeah.
Nice. And so, like, I'm interested in your thoughts if you feel like that might actually be a contributing factor to why that's such a negative mindset for somebody that's in their teens and 20s.
Oh, without a doubt. I think that's kind of a complicated issue in itself, and some of that I think is that people push their kids so hard in sports that they end up resenting it and hating it, and then once they get to a point, that might be part of it, and then, like you said, they suck the fun out of it by punishing them. They're not allowed to have fun in the game, not allowed to have fun with the sport. They're just not allowed to have fun. They got to do it perfectly. They got to do all this, and if they don't, they end up having to do those push-ups. They end up having to run those sprints. They end up being told they're not good enough, and they're only doing that because they're screwing up. They're not doing it to get better, and the only ones that are being praised to get better are the ones that are having some natural talent that are doing it. And I don't think it's right. That takes away from the teen aspect, and I'm definitely not a believer in everybody deserves a participation trophy, and you should be rewarded for it. You do
That's
well.
an American thing.
Yeah, I know it's stupid. I
don't
just
do
listened
that
to
in
a
Germany.
great podcast this morning on it. Optimal Living Daily, great podcast. 6-7 minutes. They read different blogs on money, health, wellness, relationships.
Just answer his question.
But they talked about that this morning, where they were talking about sports and whatnot, and how kids do come back from that. And I don't think they get stressed enough lately. Where I think a lot of people, not that long ago, there wasn't as much technology and enough stuff at their fingertips where they were able to. They had to go outside. They had to be active. They had to play games. Where now we can live a much more sedentary lifestyle, and sports are also expensive as hell right now. Is the other thing. I mean, even people that are playing sports for schools are getting charged up the wazoo, or they're having to train, or they can't get on the better team because they're not paying for these extra camps. And I think there is a lot of negative connotation around a lot of those things. And yeah, I would agree with that kids are falling out of that line more just because they're like, well, screw that. I'm just going to get yelled at if I go to practice. It's a lot easier if I just stay at home and, play some video games, do some writing, do a few other things.
Some interesting people walking by, yeah.
We call that channel 0 for us.
Yeah,
so it's just
seriously.
like a TV show, but we just get to watch it all day, especially from here because we can see them, but they can't see us.
There's a toilet like that in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's
You can see the people outside. It's like literally on the sidewalk. I mean, it's not part of the subject here, but anyways, it's kind
That's
of
really weird.
interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah.
outside you just see a mirror, like a round mirror, and inside you sit on the toilet and can see everyone walking by.
That'd be really weird. I don't know. I think I'd probably be okay with that, though, nowadays. Now that I'm older, starting to get the old man, I don't care thing. So I think if that happened, I'd probably embrace it.
David just got back from our gym. Just got back yesterday from Amsterdam, so I'll have to ask him if he.
A shot?
Yeah. No, David Kosiko.
It's in the red light district, so I'm
Oh,
sure
okay.
he saw. I'm sure he
Yeah,
saw it.
yeah. You must know him personally.
No, actually, I don't. But
That sounds like a red light district occasion in itself. Like,
during the day, it's not. During the day, it's all just a bunch of empty windows.
yeah.
I had no idea where I was. And then we walked the same way back, and all of a sudden, there were a
bow,
bunch
bow.
of naked women in the window. I really thought we walked the wrong way until I saw that toilet. Then I knew we were right. So yeah.
All right. How would you say people take to their fitness in Germany? And like, how did your family react to like me and you? I know you could talk to them a lot more about it than
I have
myself.
never told anyone that you had the surgery.
Right.
If they know it, then they know it from your Facebook or from anywhere. I'm not sure if you told anyone in Germany, but I
don't think so.
They all just said, "Oh, Cole is looking good. He has lost a lot of weight." But it also has been 5 years since I saw it. The last time we
they all
went
came
home.
up and started grabbing my belly, and they say, "Oh, do you have the man?"
They did. I remember
Yeah.
that. No, yeah, they did. But for my mom, it was more like she knew I've started working out, and when we do our Saturday morning Skyping, and she saw me like in sweaty clothes or whatever, and she asked actually what she should buy for groceries. I mean, not just like, hey, I know your favorite dishes that I'm gonna make, but it was more like, can you guys still eat this? Can you still eat that? Or my brother even said, I don't think Cole is gonna be as much fun this time because I'm sure he's not gonna drink because he has lost all of that weight.
Yeah.
So they knew about it.
That is one thing that I was like super. Whenever I went there, nobody would ever drink hard liquor. They all drink beer. But your Uncle Wolfgang, he loves the homemade schnapps, and he brings out some stuff, and nobody would drink it with him because apparently it's way too powerful. But he comes out schnapps, and he hands it to me, and he and I pounded an entire bottle of schnapps. And
I think my mom was kind of like, she never really believed that we are doing this on a daily basis. I think she thought we're doing it like once in once in a while we're doing this. But then when she all of a sudden realized we are getting up at 5:30 on vacation,
and going running, and I'm doing push-ups in the kitchen,
and then we come back and the kids are just waking up, or they're sitting at the breakfast table, or they were still asleep by the time we got back. And we brought fresh rolls with, like, we stopped at the bakery and brought some stuff and all that. Then she was like, oh. And then there was a morning where we didn't go running. She was like, what was going on? Why didn't you go running? And, we had jet lag, I think it was. But for the fitness stuff, it's all different. We don't have the school sports like you guys have, like Baltic Bulldogs and Roosevelt. I don't even know what their team is, actually. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But we don't have that. If they have soccer teams or tennis or whatever, it's all after school, and it's down the street at the soccer place, or it's all privately owned, or actually by the city, I think. I don't even think it's private.
So, there's probably some...
Yeah, like Parks and Recs or whatever. But there's nothing school associated. So you don't get pushed as hard.
I think there's a lot of cool stuff to do, but you guys also have a lot of really neat...
We have a lot of gyms.
Yeah, you have a lot of gyms. You guys have a lot of parks.
And
you have a lot
the
of trails.
Public transportation.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't have a car until I was, 12 or 14. So we walk a lot. And even, my mom and my sister, they live how many miles apart? Like 3 miles or so? Yeah. It's not even a question how you get there. You just walk.
Yeah, even to your grandparents, it's still a bit of a walk.
So here in Germany, that would be like the way from our house to, I don't know, Hy-Vee or something.
That's kind of a ways.
Minnesota. For my mom's to my sister, that's kind of Hy-Vee and our house. And it is. Would you ever walk to Hy-Vee?
Okay, it's just like the 5K finish line.
Oh, would you ever just walk down to Hy-Vee and be like, we needed something? We would never do that here. I remember once going, I needed something from Walgreens, Last Stop, and Barnes & Noble on that corner, Louise and 41st. And I had the stroller, and I decided before I put everything
that's
in,
also the most dangerous intersection.
I just didn't want to get the kid out. It was when Izzy was still a baby, and that car seat is a bitch. So I just, walked. I got the stroller out and walked. And people looked at me like I just lost my driver's license. I like pushing the stroller drunk, basically. And we are so not used to that from at home. Like, you do everything by foot or bus.
Yeah.
So that is completely different, all of that. So, so if you do fitness in Germany, I think you either have a gym membership
or you're just outdoorsy and want to do things.
You hardly see people on the bus with a gym, like going to the gym, because it's just a pain. You don't want to. You want to take a shower and get your food right away. So you do need a car for that, and a lot of people don't have a car. So that's a lot of things like that.
So, getting back to the procedure, if somebody's spouse out there was kind of wondering about it, or they wanted to bring it up to their other spouse, what would be your advice to them, or what are your thoughts on it?
It's tough. That's a tough one because every person is different. Like, you are 100% committed to this thing. You still go to all those meetings. You still go see a counselor. You created your own support group. Like, it is completely different. But then there are others out there that don't attend those things and they don't stick to it. And so every person
Get closer to the microphone. Quit slouching. People want to hear you.
Comfortable chair. Anyways, so every person is different. So I don't know. Like, I didn't think that you would be so committed to it. So obviously I was wrong. So I don't really have any advice for any spouse.
Wait, what did you just say?
Keep talking.
Did you just say you were wrong?
We only have 2 minutes, so keep going here.
Is it about that time?
Yep.
Seriously? Dang. That was pretty good.
We have kids to pick up.
Yeah, I've got to go back to work for a little bit, see what's going on
You
there.
got to buy me some ice cream first, dude.
Well, anyway, thanks for sharing that stuff. Thanks for being a part of my life, because I would definitely say I wouldn't be where I am without you, for sure. I wouldn't have the friends I have. I wouldn't know Bruce or any of those guys if it wasn't for John Aaron staying at my house one night without me knowing who the hell he was. I wouldn't have gotten to know Bruce, and that was kind of a funny situation. Met John through Regina's friend, and I thought I was going to go out and whoop some ass, but then I figured out that, oh God, I'm glad I didn't step toe-to-toe with this guy, because I would have gotten murdered in 2 seconds. But luckily, John was super cool, became good friends, and, I just got a lot of really good things because of you, and like I said, I'm here today because of you and the kids, so I appreciate that. And if there's anything that I can say to anybody out there that's having a tough time, don't get your shit together because you're being told to get your shit together. Get your shit together because it's the right thing to do, and you're going to have to want to. And there are other people out there that would like to be a part of your life to do that. So I know depression's really tough, and you just can't turn the light switch on, but if you can
the thing that
hang to
was
it.
Easier for me to understand because I do work in a mental health facility with a lot of mental health providers. So maybe if I wouldn't have worked where I'm working, I maybe wouldn't have understood that part.
I think
as
it
well.
became easier for you too once you saw the changes that were coming from me. Like you even said, you're like, you weren't really sure what to think of it. You thought it was attention seeking, and then all of a sudden you saw a different side of Cole, and you're like, I can tell. Like, yeah, which is nice. I can tell as well. So, like I said, I'm more confident. I wear my shirt off at the pool now. It's not the prettiest thing to look at, but I also figured, you know what? Somebody makes fun of me for having my shirt off. They're going to be awfully embarrassed when they get slapped by somebody with saggy boobs. So, there's that. But
good story, bro.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Again, if you have any more questions, go ahead and reach out. So if you have any more questions about this stuff, hit me up anytime for it. Thank you, Regina, for coming on and being super awesome. Bruce, thanks again for hosting the podcast, taking time out of your busy day to do this stuff, man. Appreciate it, as always. Much love. And thanks to all the listeners out there for just tuning in, and all the good friends that are just kind of stood by me when I was kind of a shithead. So I'm just kind of a fun shithead. But take it easy, guys. Have a great week, and we'll see what comes up next week.
Gotta go get those donuts now.
I don't want to stand up right now because my butt's sweaty.
It's amazing.
And you're going to see some sweaty butt lines in here.
Yeah, because I haven't seen that before.